This time on Delivering Marketing Joy, we talk with UK Joe Douglas from Orbis, and he explains why it's important to be a grinder. Hey there, and welcome to a brand new edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. I am your host, Kirby Hassman, and joining me today is my brand new friend, a great guy, Joe Douglas. He's the event and client relationship manager at Orbis, and so thank you so much for joining me, Joe. I appreciate it.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me on, Kirby. Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So I want to jump right in. You know, in business today, it's easy to point to examples, and we all have seen them, where companies sort of wash their hands of a problem when one happens. So I learned about you because someone in our industry told me that you helped out when you didn't have to. It was sort of someone else's problem, right, and you jumped in to kind of help fix it. I always call that giving first. So why do you think the gestures like that, like going above and beyond, still matter in business today?
I think they're really important. And that's actually how I've forged some of my best work relationships and friendships. That way it's going above and beyond the call of duty, making stuff happen that you can make happen to help somebody else out. And I think they're massively important, and to leave a lasting impression that inspires, confidence, not only me, but in the company too. That's literally my main aim at any point, and is to leave a lasting impression. So I think that, like, if you have the opportunity to help somebody out, or to dig them out of the mud, or just to even set them straight and put them on the right track, I think you should take that opportunity, because you never really know where it's going to lead, and it can turn into something awesome at the back end.
Yeah, so many times it's just a matter of going, well, gosh, if I were in that situation, I would want somebody to pull over the side of the road and give me a ride, right? Like, yeah. And when you do the thing that you're like, your parents probably told you should do, it's amazing how you stand out.
It is, and not just my parents, my grandparents too. They're old-fashioned English. My grandparents, and they beat the gentleman into me growing up. They were like, "Hey, if you see someone in trouble, you go and help them. If somebody needs help crossing the road, you go and help them. If someone's fallen down, go and see what you can do. It's, even if it's things like if I was slouching when I'm sat eating, my granddad would cuff me around the back of the head and tell me to get my ideas straight and be a man, be a gentleman and stuff." So,
well, that actually leads greatly into my next question, because you're in a family business, right? And and I certainly understand that. So, can you talk about the advantages and disadvantages of starting in a business that your family is a part of?
Yeah, it isn't just my family's business, it's partially, but definitely. It was kind of assumed, I guess, when my dad told people that I was going to be moving over here and joining in the company, assumed that I wasn't going to pull my weight or work my hardest or, try my best. And actually, all but one of the sales managers that we had on the floor here didn't want me in their team, because they didn't want me. They didn't think I was going to do any good. And then only one did and gave me, that chance. And I never really looked back. And it was like, so I'd come in and everyone was like, didn't want me in their team. They thought I was just going to ride on my dad's coattails and not work hard. But I kind of proved them wrong a little bit, and with the help of some people here, there's this amazing guy. His name's Damon, and he took me under my wing day one when I started in sales. And he's the head of our business development department today. But he polished me, if you will, and he made me into this person who I am today. So I can't thank him enough for what he did. But I came in, and I would say really only some of the advantages that I've had is not really even in promo, because we're kind of fresh to promo, Orbis. Mm-hmm. We've only been in the promo industry since 2014, but it's in the signage and exhibit industry. These long connections that our company and our sister company have made many, many years ago. Before I was even a glint in my dad's eye, they may recognize my last name and come up and just chat to me. That is really the only benefit it has. I told them when I started, I was like, I don't want any special treatment, no extra vacation time, nothing. I'm still proving myself, and I'm still improving myself at Orbis, and I really don't want any special treatment. But I guess it's a kind of assumed, and I know a lot of family members that they can just sit down and ride the wave and see where it goes, but not me. I'm a grinder.
Okay, that's awesome, because I really feel like it goes one of two ways. There's like a middle of the road. It's either they want to ride it and just kind of cruise, or you like have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder and you're like, no, like I want to prove that I belong here.
That's me.
Yeah, good for you, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm trying my best to make my own name in the industry and promo now too, but not just be just the son who just does nothing.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So the world is getting busier and busier. I know we kind of all see that.
It is.
So what do you think your secret weapons are that help you stand out?
I've got one natural one is a British accent.
That's awesome.
It's one that I have. Sometimes it's a bit of a natural accent. And actually, as you know, when you go on the road and you do these shows or you do these events or sales speaks or whatever, there's like a traveling road family in the promo industry that you see the same people everywhere you go, all the suppliers and things. And when I'm on the road, I spend a lot of time with Nathan from Logo Mats. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Logo Mats, they're great. He's a Southern Alabama boy, okay. And when me and him get in the same room together, you got this Southern Alabama boy and a British guy. It's an interesting mix. And when we do our thing and we talking to the same people, working the same shows, doing the same sales speeches, doing our own thing, we're kind of like a bit of a magnet. People come and just want to talk to us just because we're a little bit different than them, I guess. But my main secret weapon, and I almost can't stress it enough, is what I said in the start, is leaving a lasting impression. Mm-hmm. Building and maintaining like personal relationships. I think it's almost not a lost art, but it's a dying art, and I feel like a lot of the younger people in the industry need to learn how to do this, because it's not going to go away. It's not something people just don't want to talk to a robotic screen. They don't want to. I don't even like talking to automated phone things when I call them in. I want to talk to a person and develop a relationship with them. So I say leaving a lasting impression, and a good lasting impression on someone, is my main tool. I want them to go away and be like, that guy from Orbis was awesome. Yeah. I'm gonna go buy from him just because I like that guy. That's my main thing. But the last part of this is, alongside the lasting impression, is social media is massive these days, and people also need to learn how to utilize that tool as most effectively as they can, because it is not being used correctly in our industry right now, and there's so much more than we can do. And I see people like yourself doing podcasts and doing more than the regular person would, and I'm like, good for those guys. Like, they are getting out there and they're spreading a message and becoming a staple in the industry and staple online, because they see you and you pop up and you're recognizable. And people need to be utilizing social media a lot more these days.
Well, and I think to your point, and I heard this week, is that it's not either or, right? It's like social media becomes the gateway to creating the live relationship.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Door opener for them. Yeah. You start on. I see. And you're part of them as well, the Facebook forums and people searching for product on Facebook, on these promotional products websites and things. It's a door opener. That's your, like, hey, it's more personal than an email. Yeah. But it's still formal, where you're working in a business setting where you can reach out to these people and have a conversation with them online before you start off your professional relationship with them. And we have a great team that constantly scouring those social medias, and I tell them, don't embarrass yourself on social media, please, because it'll come back to haunt you. It will. Be a good person.
Yeah, I love it. Well, cool, man. You've answered my 3 questions. I give everybody a chance to ask me a question. You got one?
I do. I have one for you.
Okay.
And so I see you on Facebook traveling around all the time, and you said you just come back from a trip, but you have a whole family back home, and you travel a lot, and you do business on the road and do business at home. And I'm yet to even get as far as a girlfriend. So I can't even fathom spinning the plates of a family life alongside work life? How do you manage both? Like, you travel, do you separate time when you come back and make sure you spend time with the family, the unit? How do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a challenge for everybody. I think being intentional is super important. When I am going to go on the road, I kind of run it by my wife. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this here, and then the next trip would be here. Want to make sure that makes sense, and I'm not missing anything that you've got planned. And then, the good news is, this is funny. I actually said this. I was telling you before we started recording. I got back from a trip, and then I left. I was back for one day. I came in the office, and I said, I've got great news. I'm sad. And then everybody's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm sad I'm leaving again. That means I still love my wife.
It does.
Right?
It does.
And
I want to be home.
Yeah. And so I think that's it, is that I really enjoy the travel, but I love coming home after the travel, and then, just being intentional and spending the time when I'm here. Now, I'll be honest with you, most of my kids, I have 2 kids. So they have both are at 18 and then 20 years old. So they've moved out. And so now, honestly, my hope is that Amy and I can start traveling more together. So
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So those are kind of my things, is just trying to be respectful of the fam and trying to
and communicate again, well too.
Yeah.
Communicate that you're going to be away, and you got to organize. I'm terrible at it. I need to communicate, even with my friends and stuff. They're like, we didn't even know you're away. I'm like, I'm away all the time.
You assume I'm away, and I'll let you know when I'm home. How about that?
That's right. That's how I have to plan things these days.
That's cool, man. Well, hey, great job, dude. I really appreciate you doing it.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it too.
Okay, cool. Well, this wraps up this edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. We'll see you next time.